What's up guys, I'm Tiff. Today we're going to learn how to solve a two-step equation. So here are some basic rules you need to follow when solving a two-step equation. The first rule is to isolate your variable. You want to get x, or the variable, by itself. The second rule is to remember that what you do to one side, you must do to the other. And the third rule is to check your solution. And so if we want to solve two-step equations, we need to know how to solve the one-step equation first. So here is a one-step equation. Remember that to isolate the variable, you need to get x on one side of the equal sign and all your numbers on the other side of the equal sign, okay? And so addition cancels out subtraction, and multiplication cancels out division, vice versa. Division cancels out multiplication, subtraction cancels out addition. And so using this rule, if I see plus 6, I would use, what would I use to cancel 6 off that side of the equation? Jacob?
Subtraction.
Yes, you would use subtraction. You would subtract 6 from both sides of the equation. Because remember, what you do to one side, you must do to the other. So now, I have x plus 6 equals 7. I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides to cancel out 6. Subtract that, and I get x is equal to 1, right? Now another way to think of this equation is with a scale. You can think of the equal sign as two sides of a scale that weigh the same amount or have the same value. And so if I have x plus 6, I'll have x right there, and 6 little circles on this side, and on this side, I got 7 circles. If you subtract 6 from both sides, you can see that you also need to subtract 6 from this side in order to keep the scale equal. And so when you do that, you subtract 6 from this side, that's taking away 6 marbles. You subtract 6 from this side, you are left with x is equal to 1. Does that make sense, class?
Yep.
Yes. Okay, so now that we have mastered the one-step equation, you're going to move on to the two-step equation, okay? Now it's a two-step equation because it needs 2 steps to be solved. Okay, now what would my first step be in isolating the variable? Mia?
Subtract 3.
Subtract 3. That's close, but remember that you want to isolate x, or you want to cancel out the numbers on both sides, and you have plus 2, so you would subtract 2 instead of 3. Now maybe you're getting confused here. Remember that division cancels out multiplication, and subtraction cancels out addition. So I want you to try again. What would you do to cancel out that 2?
Subtract 2.
Exactly. Okay. And remember, you do it to both sides. Okay, now that I have 3x is equal to 3. Jacob, what would I do?
You divide by 3.
Exactly, right? So division cancels out multiplication. I would divide by 3 to isolate x. And I am left with x equals 1. Okay? And so now we must follow a third step to check our solution. And so we take our original equation right here, 3x plus 2. And instead of x, we'll use 1 because that was our solution. It's important to check your solution. And so plug in 1 for x. Now, Ethan, what is 3 times 1?
3 times 1 is 3.
Good. 3 times 1 is 3. Yes. And 3 plus 2 is what?
5.
5. 5 is equal to 5, and so we know that we have solved our equation correctly. Now, I have a short chant for you guys to remember on how to solve two-step equations, and it goes like this, okay? Get your variables on one side and your numbers on another. What you do to the left, you must do to the other. I'll say that. Get your variables on
your
one,
left.
numbers on the other. What you do to one side, you must do to the other. Perfect. Okay, and if you solve those two rules, you should be able to master the two-step equation. Good job, guys.